Good morning, I'm Don Gibson. I'm an engineer with Facilities Operation and Maintenance, and I'm looking at a building on USC campus, and I'm doing an accessibility study. And this is a building I'm very familiar with, and we've come several times, so I'm just doing another check. And I actually use a Segway because that simulates a wheelchair operation. And I would come to the handicap parking area that's designated on the map, the campus map. And our campus map does a very good job of designating the handicap parking areas. So it gets you to the parking lot. My next challenge is to get to the parking lot, to the conference room that I want to go to. And I know there's an access through the basement, and there's an access on the first floor. So I'm going to go around to the south side to look at the first floor access to see that I can get in, because that'd be my most direct route to my first stop. So I'm going to get on my accessibility device, and I'm going to walk around to the south. So now I've come around to the south side of the building, and I want to go in the museum entrance. And the museum entrance is blocked because there's a construction project going on. And fortunately, they have, to get in the building, they've given me guidance where to go. Use the back staircase or the solid black door in the patio in front. Well, I can't use the staircase, so now I'm going to the other side of the street to see if I can get in the door. You got 11. Now I'm going back around my ramp. Now I've come around to the front of the building on the east side, and as you can see, there's a lot of steps to the entrance, but I've been told by the sign on the side there's a ramp that'll get me into the building, so I'm going to go enter the building through the ramp area. Now I've tried the other ramp entrance, and it's not marked, and it's locked, and I can see that it's also part of the construction site, and the doors, incidentally, do not have an easy ADA access, so if I had arm strength problems, I would not be able to open the door anyway. So there's one more side of the building to go look at, and I'm going to go check it out now. Hi, now we're at the north side of the building, and in fact we're actually close to the parking lot where we first came in. And I know there's a basement entrance on this side, so now I'm going to go down to the basement entrance and try to get into the building. Success. I've gotten in the building, I found my way down to the end of the long hall and found the elevator quite easily, and now I'm on the elevator and on my way to my final destination.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Helms, Student Disability Services, and I'm one of the coordinators who works with the students and make sure they have the appropriate accommodations in their classrooms. I would like to give you some information of things to think about while you are in the process of planning an event on the campus at USC. One of the big things you need to think about is the accessibility of the location. Don Gibson took you around to show how to get in and out of buildings, but what I want to talk about is the actual room in where you are going to be. You need to make sure that the room has got an accessible table for somebody with a wheelchair, and you need to ask things like that on your event registration paper. When you start thinking about where you want to have it, you need to actually go to the room, look around, see if the arrangement is going to be conducive to your actual event, and if it's going to be an accessible room. Make sure getting to the room is going to be accessible. Sometimes in some of our buildings you have to go around long hallways and you might get lost. So you might want to walk the route. Also, you need to check the building to make sure there is an actual elevator if you're going to do it on any floor other than first floor. There are buildings on campus who do not have elevators. So you need to look at that. Look at the parking area around your building. Make sure that there is some handicap parking and it is designated as such. Then you need to think about, okay, is this event open to the public? Will you need a interpreter for somebody who is deaf? If so, who do you contact on our campus to make that happen? I happen to be the one that does it on this campus. And you can't wait to the last minute to do this. You need to make sure in advance, because we need at least 3 weeks, if not more, if we can do that. You also need to look at anything you're handing out. Make sure it is in accessible format, either Braille or large print. And you need to have it available as soon as you let people into your conference. You can't wait and ask if somebody needs it later. According to the new laws, it has to be able to hand it to them as they walk in the door. These are things you need to look at beforehand, and you also need to ask the questions on your registration form, like I said earlier. Another consideration you need to do is food. Are you serving food? If so, is there going to be somebody there who needs special food, like a diabetic or anybody with any type of disability that is triggered by certain foods? That's another question on your registration form. If you have any questions, please call me and I'll let you know.